if you didn't already know, I'm doing a Kickstarter to make my first set of enamel pins. I've got the link down in the description below if you want to go and check it out. So for one of the rewards, I will paint your pets or an animal of your choice. So in this video, I'm going to be painting my dog, Jeff and Katy, and my boyfriend's cat, so I can give an example of what it would look like if you wanted to commission me through Kickstarter. So let's get started. So I'm going to start off by drawing Jeff. Both my dogs are Cocker Spaniels, and they're actually brother and sister. Jeff is 2 years younger than Katy, but they are both brother and sisters with the same parents, just from different letters. To create my sketch, I'm using an erasable coloured pencil in orange, just so the colour doesn't show up through the ink. And I'm going to use Winsor & Newton inks to colour all 3 illustrations. But if you wanted me to paint in acrylic paint, like my hedgehog, there's an example of that on my page. I can do that as well. I'm just personally choosing to use the Winsor & Newton inks just because that's what I prefer and I enjoy using the most, but I'm happy to do it in whatever medium you'd like me to do it in. I'm also going to use a Prisma coloured Premier pencil just to add in some extra details and do the outline. I really like the combination of these materials and I have just been using them more and more and more. I just don't know why I like it so much. I think it's just the overall look, and it's just really fun layering up the paint and then seeing the whole picture come together when you add in the extra details with the coloured pencils. I definitely feel a little bit though like I'm forgetting about some of my other mediums. I definitely want to go back and use more gouache. It's been a while since I've used that. And I haven't actually uploaded a digital speed paint to YouTube in a while. I still do digital paintings and digital drawings and stuff, but I just haven't been uploading them to YouTube. But if you'd like to see them, please let me know in the comments below, because I do enjoy doing them. I just don't know if anybody else would like watching them, because it's not quite as interesting as you using, traditional physical materials like inks and watercolours. I'm always really consider what colours I'm going to use for an illustration, so I try and look and see what tones are in there that I could add in that might not necessarily be that prominent. Like with Jeff, I've added in a lot of yellow. He is quite a yellow toned dog, but obviously he doesn't actually have any bright yellow in him. But I like just adding the brighter colours just to add that bit of contrast. And to add that little bit more extra detail and fun, and not make it quite as realistic as a photo. This is something I do with quite a lot of things. I do with a lot of things nowadays, and it's so fun just to experiment and try out different colour schemes and explore and see what works. Obviously, as I am painting this from a picture, I am trying to keep it kind of natural. I'm not going for a bright yellow and making the whole thing yellow. I am also blending in oranges and light browns and some darker browns as well. For his collar, I am using a red because he has a red collar, and the red really works well against his pale colour, so I just really wanted to keep that in there and make it really stand out. And I also made the ground red as well, just to complement the collar and bring everything together. So I like using the same kind of technique when it comes to using my coloured pencils. I pick slightly darker shades though of the colour I'm going over with, and I just like kind of being really scribbly and free with it. I don't try to be quite precise with it. It's nice just to add that little bit extra texture and make the illustration a little bit more interesting. I also like using other colours like yellows and oranges to add highlights. which is great because these Prisma colored pencils are amazing at allowing you to go over inks or watercolors, and they work really, really well. Adding coloured pencil just brings everything together, and it really makes different parts stand out, and it's a great way to add shading because you can apply the pencil in different ways. Like you can apply less pressure to get a lighter shadow, and then press really hard to get a nice bold line. I just can't really recommend these pencils anymore, and I don't think I'll ever find anything as good as these ones. They're just so pigmented and lovely to use. So now I'm going to be working on my dog, Katy. Like Jeff, she is also a Cocker Spaniel. She's 2 years older than him. Katy's a little bit darker, so she has more orangey tones than Jeff. So I'm going to be using more orange and pinks, I think, with her. But I am also going to be using a similar brown because they are still brother and sister, and they do share some similar tones. So Katy has a white stripe down the middle of her face, and you can't really see them, but she has some brown spots on her nose that kind of make it look like she's got freckles. She's got quite a fluffy head compared to her brother, and at the moment, because it is the winter, she is very fluffy, so I want to get her fluffy tail in there, her fluffy ears, and really show that kind of detail and change in texture on her coat around her legs and her middle. This time I'm also going to be drawing her with some flowers as well, because if you wanted me to add some flowers to your final illustration, I am happy to do that for no extra cost. If you want a specific flower, just let me know, and I can add that in for you. I'm starting with this pale orangey colour. I actually mixed a couple of my inks together to get this colour because I just wanted it to be perfect and match her really well. I'm applying it quite lightly, but I'm covering her whole body at first just because I want the whole colour to be consistent, but I want to build up on parts where it's a little bit darker. So as you can see, I'm adding in darker browns, darker pinks, just to make those shadow bits really stand out and contrast against the rest of her body. When it comes to colouring in, one of the things you need to remember is that you probably really shouldn't use black unless something is black, because it will just make the whole picture look dark and a little bit muddy. So you want to make something a little bit darker. You want to use a darker shade of that colour or add in other colours like purples or blues. I am using pinks and orange for this, but I am also blending it in with brown because Katy is still, even though she's darker than Jeff, she is still a lot paler than some dogs. So I thought blending it in with colours like orange and pink would just be a really nice way to add that contrast in the shadows. Because I use pink tones to colour in her body, I'm going to be colouring the ground and the flower in pink, but I'm also going to be adding in a very dark green and kind of blending it in with a brown, just because I feel like the brown is a little bit too dull for the flower stem, but I think the bright is too green and will stand out a little bit, so I'm going to colour it in green and kind of blend in a little bit of the brown in with it, if that makes sense. You'll see me do it how I do it now. The petals I still made brown, but I just wanted to add in the green to make the leaves stand out a little bit more and not look dead or something like that, but I also didn't want to add in a whole entire different colour. I'm super happy with how Katy's nose came out in this. I don't know, I just feel like it looks really real and 3D and lovely and lively. I don't know, I just really like how it came out. It probably looks a lot better in person than it does on video, but I am actually really happy with how it came out because it has some really nice texture on it, which I added with the coloured pencil. So last but not least, I'm drawing Ryan's cat, Bella. Bella has this really interesting coat with lots of different colours and textures. So for this illustration, I'm going to be using a mixture of browns, pinks and oranges and a little bit of yellow. I'm also going to be using a little bit of black as well. Usually, as I said before, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but I do need to darken the brown just a little bit because my brown isn't quite as brown as I would have liked it. But I am mixing it in with other colours, and I'm making sure that it's not just going to be black, it's going to be more of a brown, because this was something I really had to be careful with because I was really worried about it coming out too dark. So I also added a flower crown to Bella as well. So if you want me to put a flower crown on your cat, I can also do that. I'm kind of happy to do whatever you kind of want me to do to your cats, as long as I have a good reference picture and you have an idea of any little extra accessories you want me to add in, even if it's just like a pair of glasses or a flower on its head. I'm happy to do something like that. So drawing this cat kind of fits in with the pins I'm making because I am making a set of 2 pins. You can get them both as a set or you can get them individually. But I've called them Love Heart cat pins because they've got their little love heart noses, and I just thought it would be a really cute name to go with it. They're going to be hard enamel pins, and they're going to be gold plated, so the extra little details are going to be gold, which I think is going to look super cute when I finally get them made. And as I said before, if you want to get one, now is the time to get one because they are going to be the cheapest they will ever be right now on Kickstarter, because when I upload them on Etsy, they're going to be that little bit more expensive. So you definitely should go and get one now if you want one. And you can also get my pet painting rewards over there as well. And if you do select this reward, you will get 2 sets of pins, a thank you note handwritten by me, and I will also give you a shout out in one of my YouTube videos. For these original paintings, I'm going to be painting on really good quality A5 paper, and I'll ship it out to you with the rest of your awards, so 4 pin badges and your thank you note. These animal paintings will make a great gift for yourself or for your friends or family. I only have a limited amount of spaces open, so if you want to get one, go and quickly grab one now before they go. No money will be taken from your account until this project is fully funded. So if we don't reach the backing amount, you won't receive your award, and no money will be taken from you. So if you want to get a painting or a badge, please go and support the Kickstarter, because the more people who support it, the more likely we will get all the money funded, so I can make the pin badges a real actual thing. I also want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has supported the Kickstarter so far. Thank you to everyone who shared it and for everyone who has backed me, and it really means a lot, and it's great to be hearing from you guys and getting your feedback on the badges. I'm so happy with how Bella came out, and I really like how the orange I've got on the ground and in her flower crown on her body brings the whole thing together. So here are the final illustrations. I've got Jeff, Katy, and Bella. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. So if you're interested in backing me on Kickstarter, whether or not you just want to get one of these pins, or if you want to get your own painting of your pets, go down to the description below to check it out. If you can't back me, that's okay, but if you still want to support me, please can you share the link to anyone who you think would like an animal portrait or one of my pin badges. If you want one of these badges, I will be selling them on Etsy, but they are cheaper right now on Kickstarter because I'm going to put them up for a little bit more on Etsy. So if you want to get one, now's the time to get one, just because they're just that little bit cheaper, so you'll definitely be getting a good deal. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!